Good afternoon. This is Vicki again, coming to you from Life Begins at 80. And this episode is entitled You Can Go Home Again, which we certainly proved by doing just that. This weekend, my husband and I went to St. Louis, regardless of delays on the plane and people jammed into those planes like sardines. We got there just in time for dinner with our friends Marilyn and Lou at a fabulous restaurant called Kemo's. It's an old restaurant which is a St. Louis institution, and the food did not disappoint. It was incredible. Sometimes you can only get this certain food in St. Louis. Maybe it's because I'm from here, I'm used to it, and I love it, but the food was terrific. And the company was marvelous too. We had so much fun. We laughed all weekend. We laughed a lot, and we needed that. We'd been cooped up in here far too long, and it was such a great change of scene. Uh, the next day was equally as fun. We drove through the whole city. We went to the cemetery to see my mom and dad. We went to see my old apartment in the Delmar Loop, which is no longer there. It was torn down for urban renewal. But the other buildings were still there in the loop, and nothing much had changed. It's amazing how things in St. Louis just don't change. In Dallas, everything changes overnight. They tear things down, they build things. But in St. Louis, those same old buildings that were old when I lived there were still there. And they looked pretty good. They keep them up very, very nicely. So I recognized my old neighborhood without a problem. I saw my old schools. I drove down Delmar Boulevard. I saw the beautiful gates to the city, the mansions on the left side of Delmar as we went west. And I used to imagine when I was a kid that I would live in one of those mansions. That was my dream, to live on Delmar Boulevard in a mansion. Well, I didn't make it. I'm living in Dallas, Texas, in a nice house, but I wouldn't call it a mansion. But I'm satisfied. I'm happy. Uh, in the afternoon, we also had fun. We went to the Union Station, which is an actual train station, but they have built a gigantic theme park next to the railroad station where they have a restaurant where we ate lunch. They have an amusement park. We walked around. They have a huge Ferris wheel, which we avoided. Um, the trains are there. You can see all kinds of things at the Union Station. It's marvelous. Then we drove through the downtown section. We went to the Soulard Market, which is a large vegetable market that's been there forever. Still has so much beauty and local color, I'd say. We saw the old townhouses that have been there for years and years that were undergoing actually renovation, and many of them were. Some of them were falling down. Some of them looked pretty good. And there was a lot of new construction in that area too, which was gratifying to see. It's very, very interesting down there. That night we went to Spiro's restaurant, which is practically where I grew up. My mother and father loved that restaurant. So we went there very often because when we would walk in, the owner of Spiro's, who is no longer alive, I'm sure, he would greet my dad like my father was the King of England. And my father loved that. I'm sure that Mr. Spiro, or whatever his name was, the owner, treated everybody like that. But my father thought that he only did it for him. So my father insisted all the time that we go to Spiro's. And my mother used to insist that we go to the early bird special, which nobody really ever wanted to go to. But she said, you just have to sit down by 5:30. You don't have to eat. So we always ended up at the early bird special of Spiro's. But going back there again was a real treat. And our friends were just delightful. And we always laughed so much, and that was so good for us. So I'm real happy that we made the effort to do the trip. The next day, we came home once again, jammed on the plane like sardines, but the plane left on time. So that was okay. And we got home. We were dead tired. I don't know why. We didn't we didn't exert ourselves all that much. But remember, we're 80. We were tired, but we had such a wonderful time. We took lots and lots of photos. We'll have wonderful memories. And again, I thank my friends Marilyn and Lou for making us feel so welcome and treating us so well. They treated us like celebrities, just like the man from Spiro's treated my father. So get out there, do something fun, make some memories, and you won't be sorry. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.